I overreacting AIO to my girlfriend texting other men? Thank you so much to everyone who pointed out that I unintentionally revealed personal information in my original post. I genuinely apologize for that. It was not my intention to violate anyone's privacy. I really appreciate all of you who commented and shared advice. I have read every single response, and honestly, you are all amazing people. You are right. I need to prioritize what is best for me, even if it is hard to accept. Clearly, this relationship is not heading in the right direction, and I am starting to see that cutting things off might be the healthiest decision. Before I get into what happened, let me apologize for the camera quality in advance. The video I reference was shaky, and I had to rely on blurry screenshots. Please do not kill the messenger, or in this case, the cameraman. So, for context, I am a 20-year-old guy, and my girlfriend is 21. We have been together for 2 years. For the most part, I thought our relationship was good. Really good, actually. Sure, we had our ups and downs like any couple, but I always believed we had a strong bond, and were capable of working through anything. Things got serious enough that we decided to move in together. At the time, it felt like the right step. She needed somewhere to stay, and I was more than happy to take that step with her. But over the past few months, things started to change. Life got more stressful. We were both dealing with financial pressure, trying to figure out our future, and struggling to find stable jobs. All those outside stresses seeped into our relationship, and suddenly we were arguing more often than not. At one point, we almost broke up. Twice, actually. But each time, we talked it through and convinced ourselves that we could make it work. Just a few weeks ago, we even had a serious conversation about committing to fixing things. I thought we were on the same page, trying to make each other happy again. Then came the gut feeling. You know the one. That little nagging voice that tells you something is off even when you cannot quite put your finger on it. I have always trusted her, but she has a habit of going through my phone whenever she feels like it. So one night, I decided to check hers. I figured it was fair game. To my surprise, I found some texts that really did not sit right with me. There was a guy messaging her in a way that felt inappropriate, flirty, if not outright suggestive. What made it worse was that there were 2 other conversations with guys that were completely deleted. She had told me before that they were just friends. But if that were true, why delete the chats? It felt sneaky, and I could not shake the feeling that she was hiding something. Then there was her reaction. Just the day before, she got furious with me for something so small I could barely believe it. I had accidentally followed a girl back on Instagram without realizing it. I tried explaining it was an honest mistake, but she blew up. She threatened to break up with me, stormed around the apartment, and even smashed some of my stuff. Little things like stuffed animals and other random items, but still, it felt over the top, like she was looking for an excuse to fight. Yet, when I brought up the texts I found on her phone, she flipped the script completely. Suddenly, I was the bad guy for snooping. She said the texts were nothing and acted like I was crazy for being upset. I tried to stay calm, but she kept turning it back on me, making me feel like I was in the wrong for even bringing it up. Then, without warning, she stormed out, locked the door to our bedroom, and ignored me for the rest of the night and into the morning. When I tried to tell her how much this was hurting me, she would not even look at me. I ended up sitting on the couch crying, feeling like I had completely lost control of the situation. I cannot shake the feeling that I am not overreacting. Am I? It is hard to admit, but I think this relationship might be beyond saving. I feel like I am constantly walking on eggshells, and any time I try to express my feelings, it just gets thrown back in my face. I wanted so badly for things to work, but now I am starting to wonder if the best thing I can do is walk away. I need to end things, right? Comments. No Roof 1910. I need to get my head straight and leave her already. BSOP. Leave her now even though your head isn't straight yet. Do not wait until your head is straight to leave. Leave now and get your head straight without her. In fact, it will be easier for you to get your head straight when she is out of your life. Daywitch Daya. Disgusting. I would never tell another guy I had a crush on him or allude to anything of the sort. I can't even read the rest. It makes me sick. OP, that girl ain't loyal. Update 1. Hi everyone. Thanks so much for the support and advice in response to my original post. Reading through the comments honestly made me feel less alone. and it was a relief to know that so many people could relate or offer guidance. It gave me a lot to think about and the push I needed to confront what's happening. After posting, I decided to have a serious talk with my girlfriend. I waited until the next evening when things had calmed down a bit. I thought that if we could both sit down and have an honest conversation, maybe we could clear the air, or at least figure out what direction this relationship is heading in. When I brought it up, she didn't deny messaging other guys. She admitted to it, but said they were just friends, and acted as though I was the one crossing a line by looking at her phone. She kept repeating that I was invading her privacy, which, honestly, felt like a deflection from the real issue. I asked her why the conversations with those guys were deleted if they were so harmless. Her response? "I didn't want you to get the wrong idea." The whole thing felt off. I told her that if she truly valued our relationship, she wouldn't need to delete anything, because there wouldn't be anything to misunderstand. Her response was defensive, saying that she had the right to talk to whoever she wanted, and that I was being controlling by questioning her intentions. That stung, because I've always made an effort to give her space and respect her independence. But how can I not question her actions when they're making me doubt everything? Things took a turn when I suggested that we set some clear boundaries for our relationship, things we're both comfortable with and can agree on. That's when she completely flipped. She got angry, saying I was trying to dictate her life and that I didn't trust her. I tried to explain that boundaries go both ways and are meant to make us both feel secure, but she wouldn't hear it. Before I could finish, she stormed out of the apartment. She didn't come back that night. I called her several times, but she didn't answer. At one point, I started to wonder if something had happened to her, but then I saw her Instagram story the next morning. She was out with some friends, laughing and having drinks as if nothing had happened. Meanwhile, I had spent the night replaying everything in my head, wondering what I could have done differently. Now, I'm sitting here completely torn. On one hand, her behavior feels like a massive red flag. The disappearing, the deleted messages, the refusal to set boundaries, it's all starting to pile up. On the other hand, I can't shake the memories of how good things used to be between us. It's like I'm holding on to the person she used to be, not the person she's showing me now. I've been trying to figure out if I'm overreacting. Am I making too big a deal out of this? Or is this the moment where I need to wake up and realize that she's not the same person I fell in love with? The comments on my last post keep replaying in my mind, especially the ones telling me to trust my gut and that the signs are there if I'm willing to see them. Right now, I feel stuck. Part of me wants to confront her again and try to salvage what's left of this relationship, but another part of me is exhausted. The trust is gone, and without that, what are we even fighting for? At the same time, ending things feels so final, and I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. For now, I'm giving her space. She's been texting me sporadically since the night she left, but the messages are short and don't address what happened. It's like she's pretending nothing's wrong, which is frustrating because I feel like I'm the only one taking this seriously. I don't know where this is going, but I'll keep you all updated. Thanks again for listening. It helps more than I can say. Edit. Also want to add, I've thought about texting a dude who might be a real brother about it since he seems to be unaware of her relationship. But others have pointed to not playing detective as it will hurt me more, which honestly is true. I'm thinking about ending things like nearly all of you have been telling me. You all are right, and I thank you once more for it. I really can't thank you all enough. I did trust my girlfriend for so long, but after this recent stuff with texting guys, and one time seeing how she told her friend she was entertaining a guy, which she swore was a joke and not actually serious. I'm having major trust issues. I've dealt with being cheated on before, and I even told my GF this early on to everything that it makes me struggle with trust. But I really did put everything I had into her, which sucks since he proved it to mean nothing. I am also trying to take things in a healthy manner. I've been meditating, working out, and trying to get in touch with my therapist to go back. Thank you all for being concerned about my well-being. Update 2. First off, thank you to everyone who has continued to share your thoughts and experiences. Every comment has helped me get a clearer picture of the situation I am dealing with, even if it is not what I wanted to hear. So here is where things stand. After she spent the night out without any explanation, she finally came back the next morning. The moment she walked through the door, I could feel how much had changed. There was no apology, no explanation, just a cold, dismissive attitude, as if I was the one in the wrong for being upset. It felt like there was a giant wall between us, and honestly, I was not sure if I even wanted to try breaking it down. The way she brushed off everything only made my gut feeling stronger. Something was off, and I could not ignore it anymore. Later that day, while she was out, I decided to look more closely at some details that I might have overlooked before. If I was going to make a decision about this relationship, I needed to know the full truth, not just the parts she was willing to share. That is when I found something that really shook me. A receipt. It was from a nice restaurant in town, one we have never been to together. The receipt showed a dinner for two, dated just a few days earlier, during a time when she had told me she was working late. When she got home later that evening, I asked her about it as calmly as I could. Her answer? She said it was dinner with a colleague, brushing it off like it was no big deal. But her tone was off, and she looked uncomfortable. She did not meet my eyes, and the way she quickly changed the subject only made me more suspicious. At that moment, it hit me how much this relationship had changed. There was a time when I would have believed her without question. Now, I found myself dissecting her every word, her every reaction, trying to figure out if she was lying. And the sad part? I did not even like who I was becoming in the process. Constantly doubting her, second-guessing everything, feeling like I was losing my grip, it was exhausting. I spent the rest of the day thinking about what to do next. The trust between us is broken, and no matter how much I want to believe in her, her actions are making it impossible. Between the deleted messages, the unexplained night out, and now this receipt, it feels like I am getting pushed further and further away. I ended up reaching out to one of my closest friends to talk about everything. I needed an outside perspective, someone who could help me make sense of what was happening. They did not sugarcoat it. They told me that if respect and trust are missing, then there is nothing left to build on. They also reminded me that I deserve better, someone who values me enough to be honest and transparent. Hearing it from someone I trust hit me hard because deep down, I already knew they were right. The thing is, I do not want to make any rash decisions. A part of me still wants to hold on to the good memories, to believe that we can fix this. But I am starting to wonder if I am just holding on to an illusion of what our relationship used to be, not what it actually is now. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that I have been bending over backward to make things work while she barely seems to care. Right now, I am at a crossroads. Do I confront her again and demand the truth, knowing it might lead to another fight and more gaslighting? Or do I cut my losses and walk away, even if I do not feel fully ready? Either way, it feels like I am going to lose something, either her or the small hope I have left that this relationship can be saved. For now, I am focusing on gathering my thoughts and figuring out what I want. I cannot keep living in this limbo where I am constantly questioning everything. My friend was right. I need to prioritize respect and trust, both for myself and in any relationship I am in. I will keep you all updated as I figure out my next steps. Right now, I just need some time to process everything and decide what kind of future I want, with or without her. Thanks for sticking with me through this. It really does help to know I am not going through it alone. Screenshot. Comments. Muted Dr. 8411. OP. I felt sick reading it all. I didn't capture the whole convo because I was just so frustrated and upset in the moment. I'm just glad to know people don't condone this type of behavior and that I'm not just in my head about it like my GF makes me feel. Thank you for the kind words. No Program 5539. She is cheating on you, or at least planning on it. Leave her already. She storms out and get mad when you confront her because she doesn't actually have an explanation for her messages. She gets mad at you for following a girl because she is projecting her unfaithfulness onto you. She knows what she does when she follows messages other guys. So when she sees you follow a girl, she assumes you are cheating on her. Save yourself the trouble and end it. This chick isn't worth wasting your 20s with. Update 3. First, thank you to everyone who has stuck with me through this mess and shared your thoughts and stories. Reading about your experiences has given me a lot of perspective and the strength to start making some clear decisions about my situation. After sitting with everything for a while and going over the advice many of you have given, I realized I could not stay in this limbo any longer. Something had to change. So I told her that if we wanted to move forward, we needed to have an honest discussion. No more deflecting, no more dismissing my concerns. I made it clear that we needed to set some clear boundaries if there was any hope of repairing the damage to our relationship. Her reaction was, unfortunately, exactly what I feared. She avoided the conversation entirely. Every time I brought it up, she either changed the subject or made it about how I was too sensitive and blowing things out of proportion. At one point, she even said, "Why can you not just let things go? It is not like I am cheating on you." But how am I supposed to trust that when every action of hers has been raising red flags? The dinner receipt, the deleted texts, the nights out with no explanation. It is all too much to ignore. The breaking point for me was when I calmly asked her one last time why she deleted those conversations with the guys. I told her I just wanted the truth, no matter what it was, so we could figure out where to go from here. Instead of answering, she rolled her eyes, called me paranoid, and walked out of the room. It was like talking to a brick wall. At that moment, I knew I had to start preparing for the possibility that this relationship was over. I decided to take some practical steps to protect myself and my future, just in case. First, I started packing up some of my personal belongings, important documents, sentimental items, and anything I would not want to leave behind if things fell apart. I did not want to make a big show of it, so I kept it subtle, just in case she noticed. At the same time, I reached out to our landlord to ask about the lease. Both of our names are on it, and I needed to know my options if she decided to leave or if I decided to move out. The last thing I want is to be stuck in this apartment with her, or worse, be held responsible for rent if she bails. I also decided to take care of my mental health. I have been carrying around so much stress and uncertainty, and it has been eating away at me. So, I booked an appointment with a counselor to help me process my emotions and figure out what I really want. I have always believed in trying to make thoughtful, rational decisions, and I hope having a professional to talk to will give me some clarity. At this point, I am not sure what will happen next. A part of me wants to give her one final chance to come clean and show me she is willing to put in the effort to fix this. But the other part of me is exhausted, emotionally, mentally, and even physically. I feel like I am fighting for a relationship that she has already checked out of. And honestly, I am starting to wonder if it is worth it. I will admit, the idea of walking away is terrifying. This relationship has been such a big part of my life for the past 2 years, and the thought of starting over feels overwhelming. But at the same time, I know I deserve better than constant doubt and a partner who refuses to take responsibility for their actions. I deserve trust, respect, and honesty, things that are clearly missing right now. For now, I am taking things one step at a time. I am trying to focus on myself, my well-being, and making sure I am prepared for whatever comes next. Whether that means staying and working through this or leaving and starting fresh, I need to be ready. Thank you for following along and for giving me the support and advice I have needed to start facing the truth about my situation. I will update you all soon once I figure out my next move. Update 4. This will likely be my final update about this situation. Thank you to everyone who took the time to read, offer advice, and share your own experiences. I truly believe I made the right decision, and your input played a big part in helping me get here. After everything that has happened, I decided it was time to end the relationship. It was not an easy decision, far from it, but I knew it was the only way to move forward. The final conversation happened a few nights ago. I sat her down and asked her point blank if she wanted to stay in this relationship and work on fixing things together. I told her I was willing to listen, but only if she could meet me halfway with honesty and accountability. Her response? She paused for what felt like an eternity, then quietly said, "Maybe it is best if we both go our separate ways. Right now, I am focused on starting this new chapter of my life. It is a strange mix of emotions, sadness, relief, and a little bit of fear about what comes next. But there is also hope. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I am prioritizing myself and what I need to be happy. I have started journaling to process my emotions. I am keeping up with therapy, and I am even reconnecting with old friends who I had lost touch with during the relationship. Looking back, I realize how much I compromised my own well-being trying to make this relationship work. I ignored red flags, excused behavior that hurt me, and convinced myself that things would get better if I just tried harder. But relationships are not supposed to be one-sided. They are supposed to be partnerships, and this one stopped being that a long time ago. I do not know what the future holds, but I am learning to be okay with that. For now, I am focusing on taking things one day at a time, rebuilding my confidence, and rediscovering who I am outside of this relationship. It is not easy, but it feels right. Thank you again to everyone who has been following this story and offering your support. Your words helped me see the situation more clearly and gave me the courage to take a step I had been afraid to take for far too long. I am grateful beyond words. Here is to new beginnings. I've been with my girlfriend for 2 years, and for most of that time, I thought our relationship was great. We had our ups and downs, but I believed we were happy overall. We moved in together as things got serious, and she needed a place to stay. However, as outside stresses like finances and jobs piled up, we started fighting more often. We came close to breaking up twice, but recently agreed to work harder to fix things. Despite this, I had a gut feeling and decided to check her phone one night since she often checks mine. I found unsettling messages from a guy and noticed 2 conversations with other guys had been deleted, which made me more suspicious. Meanwhile, she got angry at me yesterday for accidentally following a girl on social media, to the point of threatening to leave and smashing things in our room. When I confronted her about the guys in her DMs, she dismissed my concerns, stormed out, locked the door, and ignored me all morning. I tried expressing my feelings, but she completely dismissed me, leaving me in tears. Now I'm questioning if I'm overreacting or if it's time to end this relationship.